It's been incredibly difficult to digest the silence of our medical colleges regarding Israel's blatant violation of human rights and international law, which has resulted in so much death and destruction. As of this month, at least 35,000 Palestinians have been killed by Israel, with an estimated 10,000 more missing and presumably under the rubble. 12,300 children have been killed. Innocent people are dying of preventable and curable medical conditions and dying of starvation from a man-made famine.
Shame!
And recently, mass graves were discovered at Nasser Hospital in Gaza, where at least 400 bodies were found, some of whom still had medical tubes in place, some were wearing scrubs, some had clear signs of torture, and some of them were children. Now, if that isn't enough to make my colleagues here elicit some sort of emotional response, let me bring this closer to home for them, since so many have continued to turn a blind eye to what is happening to our brothers and sisters overseas. We know 458 Palestinian healthcare workers who have been killed by Israel, and hundreds have been abducted and tortured. We just saw the news of a distinguished surgeon, Dr. Adnan Al-Bush, who was killed after being tortured, his clothing stained with his own blood. If you were an anaesthetist in Gaza, you might have shared a theatre with him, sang along to his theatre playlist, or shared a moment of relief after saving a patient's life together. He's just like any other brilliant and dedicated surgeon here that you may work with. The only difference is he's Palestinian. This morning, Australian New Zealand College of Anaesthetists has invited Professor Weiniger as a keynote speaker to give a lecture on obstetric anaesthesia while women in Gaza are having caesarean sections without anaesthesia.
Shame!
Professor Weiniger has been vocal online about Israel's attacks on Gaza. In a next comment, she asks, "What would be the point of a new ceasefire exactly?" She also reposted the IDF's tweet saying, "Hamas operates within and hides beneath the largest hospital in Gaza." Doctors are supposed to look at facts, and the fact is that human rights organisations have found zero credible evidence that any terrorist organisation is using Gaza hospitals as bases. And even if they were, that does not justify bombing a hospital. That does not justify abducting, torturing, and murdering patients and healthcare workers. If the worst criminal in the world was hypothetically hiding in a hospital, that does not justify bombing a hospital or killing innocent people, full stop, no matter where, no matter who. We gather here today not because we are anti-Semitic or hate a particular racial identity, but because we share the belief that killing civilians is morally reprehensible, as is targeting humanitarian aid, hospitals, ambulances, schools, and refugee camps. We believe that no one race or religion is superior to another or more worthy of medical care. In fact, these general sentiments form part of our Hippocratic oath. Yet colleges like ANZCA remain silent and choose to platform doctors like Professor Weiniger, like there is nothing wrong with her views.
Shame!
We know that silence only benefits the oppressor, and normalising relations with someone like Professor Weiniger encourages the oppressors to feel invincible. There is nothing political about what I'm saying today, and if ANZCA thinks that us saying people should not be killed and healthcare facilities should not be bombed is political, racist, or anti-Semitic, then that says something truly concerning about our society today. And so today, our demands are that ANZCA, number one, uninvites Professor Weiniger. Number 2, does not platform any doctor who directly or indirectly condones attacks on civilians and healthcare workers in the future. Number 3, issues a statement condemning the indiscriminate killing of civilians, targeting of healthcare facilities and healthcare workers in Gaza. It would be wise for ANZCA to also condemn the fact that the siege has resulted in caesarean sections and amputations being done without sufficient anaesthesia, as reported by reputable aid and medical organisations. And number 4, make efforts to support medical evacuations and advocate for the provision of humanitarian aid and access to adequate healthcare for everyone in and from Gaza, in line with their statement from 2019, which I'll share now to finish off. ANZCA endorses the principle that the enjoyment of the highest attainable standard of health is one of the fundamental rights of every human being, without distinction of race, religion, political belief, economic or social condition. And so I encourage ANZCA to abide by that statement that they wrote in 2019.